Hey everybody, I hope you're doing fine. I know it's been a crazy couple of weeks, but I wanted to go ahead and put up another video to keep you updated on what's happening here at Gateway. You can see that we still have tons of snow. I am sitting on my front steps and I am literally engulfed in snow walls because of all the snow we've had this winter. But spring is coming. I promise she's on her way, and we are readily preparing for the snow to melt and for us to be able to finally get into our garden and plant some of our produce. You may remember a couple of vlogs back when I talked about soil and how soil has antimicrobes in it that help fight off depression. And I made a comment about how I would love to receive soil and have a soil sensory box, and my mom took me up on that. I had a birthday a couple weeks ago and she literally mailed me a package that had a bag of soil in it. She told me that she mailed me happiness, and truly she did. So I got to make a soil box. I was laughing, totally full of joy, and I'm very grateful that I have a box of soil right now in my house that I can play with during these crazy times. I mentioned that we have begun our seed starts for our summer garden, and this year we decided to do a little bit of experimenting. We put half of our onion seeds through a method called winter sowing. Winter sowing is taking plastic containers such as salad containers, milk jugs, water jugs, and converting them into a greenhouse for the plants that you have started in the containers. We use salad containers that you would get at the grocery store and cut 4 drainage holes in the bottom of each container. We filled them up with potting soil, and then we planted our onion seeds just like we would if we were doing the indoor traditional sowing method. The tops of the containers also received 2 venting holes, and the theory is that these containers will act as a greenhouse for the plants inside, and Mother Nature will know when the plant is ready to do its thing. So we planted them, put the lids on them. Well, we watered them first. They do get watered right after you plant. Then we put the lids on them, and we put them on our back porch, and we literally have not touched them since we did it. So when it snows, they get snowed on. We don't brush the snow off. When it starts to rain, when it's warm enough for it's not to be snowing, we leave them alone. So we'll see how it goes. We planted the other half of our onions in a traditional indoor sowing method. That way, if the experiment flops, because not everything works in Alaska, we will still have onions to plant in our summer garden for the community. So we'll keep you posted in vlogs to come of how our growing does, both in winter sowing for the onions and then also in the traditional sowing. And we kept everything else the same for this experiment for you science nerds out there. The only difference is one is done with winter sowing and the other one is being done traditional sowing inside. We also planted celery. We did about 40 celery starts based on our garden planning. We knew that we wanted to plant about that much celery, so we started with 40 seeds in these containers, and celery needs about 10 to 12 weeks before the last frost date to be sown indoors. Especially when you have a short growing season, you got to get a head start. The celery seeds are tiny microscopic seeds, and so each container received about 3 celery seeds inside. And I had my awesome daughter Jocelyn help me plant the celery seeds in our house, and it was a great science lesson for her. She got to fill up the containers. We talked about how we don't compress the soil in the container, but we fill them up and then we make marks about 1/4 of an inch deep in the soil for the celery seeds to go in. After we planted the celery seeds, we marked them because wouldn't that be unfortunate if we forgot what we planted in these containers. So we ended up inviting friends over and had a massive seed planting party because, hey, work is not work when it's fun, right? We got to play with the soil sensory box thanks to my mom, And we got to teach kids about planting and what it's like to grow food. We also started with peppers. You can see Jocelyn here is prepping the seed tray for our pepper seeds, and we planted eggplants and loofahs, our loofah gourds that we are also experimenting with this summer. We planted those early. We planted artichokes, and then we also planted a different onion. It's our red onion. We did our white onions in winter sowing earlier, and then we planted all of our red onions with indoor traditional sowing methods. So you can see here on the screen that these are the loofah seeds. It's what they look like, and they're big black seeds, and we put one in each pot. And with these seeds, because they need the warmth, we did end up putting them under or over a heating pad. So there are some seeds that need a heating pad to germinate, especially if they're used to growing in warmer climates. So we did do this with the loofah seeds, hoping that it will improve our chances for actually getting to have loofah gourds grow this summer in our garden in time, because we do have a short growing season. You can see that the soil box was a hit. I'm telling you, we need to have soil boxes, people, especially in the winter. If you live in the Arctic, you want to be able to have fun and laugh and bring dirt inside when all the dirt's frozen outside. Get yourself a bag of soil and make a sensory box. It's awesome. Well, that's the update that we have as far as what we've been doing here. We are busy planting seeds. We have a plan of when each produce needs to be started indoors to increase our chances of harvesting as much as possible come the end of August. I hope you all are doing well. Please continue to follow along. Check back in. We'll keep you updated on what we're doing here, how we're faring. Ask us any questions that you have when it comes to gardening in the Arctic, gardening in Alaska, and I will do my best to provide answers. Until next time, take care. Bye.